Hello and welcome to Non-Stop Wrestling Chat. My name's Barry and today we're here to chat about the Money in the Bank 2020. It was entertaining to say the least, and there was quite a lot of entertaining spots in it. I've got notes here, if you hear the paper moving. I've actually took handwritten notes. I thought it was actually quite interesting. It wasn't the best match, but it wasn't the best pay-per-view, but it was middle of the road. It's definitely been better than quite a few of the ones that I've done. The only thing, I'm trying not to swear, guys, just one thing I'm trying not to do, but the only thing that really hinders these pay-per-views and hinders wrestling as well is see that no audience thing. Like, I feel with WWE, everything is garnished towards the audience. Now, I love the skits when R-Truth is still kidding on that the people are still there, but it misses something. So we're going to start off with a kickoff show. Now, apart from the only match that was on it pretty much was Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro. Jeff done the win. Without the crowd there, this one was just really hurting the match. The only thing that I really took from this match was quite confusing was that why did Cesaro have to unzip Jeff Hardy's t-shirt with the holes in it to give him a chop? And it's a shirt, like it's not going to make the damage any better or any worse, if that makes sense. But I love seeing Jeff back in the ring. They're promoting this as like his comeback and it's going to be like his final run, so I'm hoping like they've got him starting at the bottom in the pre-show, then he's going to work his way up into the main card, first match, second match, just work his way up to that maybe a WrestleMania moment next year in the main event and wins the championship, and then maybe has it as a retirement after that. But Jeff Hardy's always excited to see, but you could see Cesaro was definitely kind of in this match a lot better. He was the man of the match, but Jeff Hardy coming off of that kind of long time away from wrestling, you can definitely see it in him. But I gave this 3 stars. It was a good match. It was okay. It was good. I do wish this one was on like maybe the opener of the main card, but yeah. But the overall pre-show, kick-off show, what the hell they call it, can be explained in just one simple word. Boring. And the 2 guys before it as well with the suits on and were talking, and it was just really, really boring. Apart from the match that was piqued interest, again, without the crowd, it just didn't really work, but it was just really boring. Very bland, and it looked very, very corporate as well, which is, it's wrestling, man. It doesn't have to be like this corporate thing. Obviously it's a multi-billion dollar business, but like, come on, it could literally be something a little bit better than that. So we move on to the main show. Started off with a cool kind of graphic. It wasn't like the best looking one, but it gave me like a 90s feel to it. What I'm really hoping for this card, for the Money Bank match, is it's going to be something quite like the 90s, I think it was like 1998 it was out, the Attitude Era advert when you had all the wrestlers kind of wrestling in there in that advert. So I'm hoping it's going to be something like that. So we moved on into the card. It opened up with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, which was the New Day against Miz and Morrison against the Forgotten Sons against Lucha House Party. The New Day picks up the win here. This was a really fun match, good pace to it. Yeah, I don't really much else to say about this. It was definitely a really fun match. Me and my son watched it. He really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was a good match. I loved just the pace and everything to it. It was a good little story, especially for a SmackDown Tag Team Championship, which recently has really been kind of dire, but yeah, it's been was pretty good. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I would say this is one of the top matches of the night. So far, the pay-per-view was looking good. My note down here is let's hope it continues, but we do know it's WWE, and they've got a tendency to F it up. But yeah, so it moved into Fing it up, which is R-Truth. You've got R-Truth against MVP. I was trying to read the note there. So it was R-Truth against MVP, but MVP decided to take the night off, and Lashley was in the ring. Then it was an accidental slap. R-Truth is comedy gold, really, but this was bad. I gave this 0 stars. Lashley picked up the win. It was the usual talk, smash of that type of what Lashley does, that brawling type. But yeah, so the next part was you see Bayley and Sasha walking to the ring. Well, not walking, like in the backstage, coming out to get to the entrance area. And it was just a little shitty interview. But the one thing that I keep saying is, who in the blue hell is booking Bayley as this bad guy? It is utter pee. The one thing that really I took from the match that Bayley was in, so the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley against Tamina, which was terrible, guys. I gave it a 1 star. Both people were just both performers in this are at best. They aren't great at all. Bayley isn't a believable bad guy. Yeah, it's just kind of like it wasn't really anything special or anything like that. So what I would really like to see is maybe Bayley getting that, not being a heel anymore, or Tamina getting away from. It was like a slower Andre the Giant, getting away from that kind of bad, boring, slow, big woman thing. I know that's like a gimmick, right? But they could do something with it, man. Like, just do something a little bit better with it. But yeah, the one thing from this match, Bayley took up the win, so she retained. Who really cares? But is Sasha Banks looked bloody hot, man. Like, with that, yes, she looked really hot. That's one, if you follow me on Twitter, it's one thing that you'll see. She did look really hot in this, and that was one of the best parts of the night, and also at this kind of stage of it. So yeah, that was fun. The one thing that my 5-year-old says, and was an interview with Seth Rollins, and he says, "Look, there's Seth in Becky's jacket." He's not wrong. He's literally not wrong. The silly Messiah gimmick just isn't working. But he's not. He isn't. My 5-year-old isn't wrong about. It looks like he's wearing a women's jacket. Yes, it's WWE Championship after that. WWE Universal Championship after that. Sorry. It was Braun Strowman against Bray Wyatt. Yeah, guys, this was only okay. Nothing special. Pretty confusing, to be honest with you, but I do understand that there's going to be a build up for the Fiend against Strowman. I don't know why, if the Fiend's meant to be like Bray Wyatt's stronger alter ego, then why he wasn't the Fiend. But yeah, I gave this 1 star again. Strowman was a winner. I feel pretty bad about giving Wyatt a 1 star because I do like most of his matches, but this one just didn't deserve any kind of praise or anything like that. Then we moved on to WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre against Seth Rollins. I think, see, if this was in front of a crowd, a lot of the near falls would have went over really well. I also think with all these matches as well in front of a crowd, they had the possibility to go from like a 1 star to maybe a 2, or a 2 to a 3, if that makes sense. Just kind of up a little bit instead of from where it is. But overall, this one was probably one of the best ones of the night, along with the opening match. It was a really good competitive match. It was fun to watch, very enjoyable, good back and forth, and I would like to see what these guys are going to do in the future. No, I'm not a big Seth Rollins fan. He's not like my go-to chill down and watch some wrestling. But I gave this a 4 stars. I'm not a big Drew fan either, but I gave this a 4 stars. It was a really, really, really good match. Then after this, so before this, the whole night, guys, was literally promoting the Undertaker's documentary kind of series, which is out, which is really good if you haven't seen it yet. Well, the first episode's really good, but yeah, that's pretty much, it was promoting that. Then the next match was the Money in the Bank. Now, the women and the men match going on at the exact same time, I thought was going to be terrible, but I think it worked really well, and it helped condense that pay-per-view into like a 2 hours, just over 2 hours or whatever it was at. It stopped it from having a run time of over 3 hours, which I think they're trying to get down, because with no audience and no crowd can be a little bit tedious. But yeah, so the women in the Money in the Bank match were Ahsoka, Baszler, Dana Brooke, Evans and Carmella. The men were Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, Corbin, Otis and AJ. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I was going to rate this match because it was so much going on. I was thoroughly entertained throughout this. Ahsoka and Otis picked up the win. The finish was hilarious with Otis, AJ Styles fumbling the case and him catching it. It was a hilarious finish. It was really entertaining. I loved the AJ and Daniel Bryan segment with Vince, with the hand sanitizer and fixing the chairs and stuff like that. I thought that was hilarious. It was good to see Vince on camera again. But yeah, it was a really fun show to watch. That match really made it. I do love these without the audience, like the Undertaker and AJ one. Yeah, without the audience, I think cutting it and things like that, the way they have been, is been pretty good. I love the AJ getting stalked by the Undertaker. That segment is kind of giving me like there's going to be like maybe another match, and I think it might be a retirement match between AJ and Undertaker. And I know Undertaker will probably take the retirement at Survivor Series, say, but I think this would be a really great thing to see in the future. Overall, guys, I thought this show was okay. It was middle of the road, so I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. The whole show. The last match was the standout of the night, but just throughout the matches you had the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match and the WWE Championship match that were really standouts. Sasha Banks looking hot, which was a standout, obviously. Realising how lucky Corey Graves is. But yeah, middle of the road pay-per-view overall. It wasn't great, but given what they've done, it's been better than normal. So yeah, it was actually a pretty good pay-per-view, and well, better than the ones that I've had before. Yeah, it's just one of those. At the moment, you're kind of realising how much wrestling does need that crowd. Obviously, everybody's kind of realised that's the thing, but just now it needs the crowd back in there, whether that be in some form of like small amounts or I don't know. Hopefully, with whatever's going on in the world, we're going to be getting this, maybe getting back to some sort of normality within the coming months. But who knows? I did enjoy the show. I enjoyed the Money in the Bank match the most. But overall, let's commend WWE for doing what they're doing. I know obviously they're kind of doing it for money, but it's good to see that they're actually still trying to get things done. Now, no matter what people are saying about Vince might be selling, stocks getting sold off because of this, they might be going under, we don't know what's kind of happening in the background, but I really enjoyed the pay-per-view. I think they kept it going, they've kept moving, and you can't only point and blame at WWE. You've got AEW and other wrestling shows that are still going. The smaller independent scene that's probably took an insane hit from this that might never recover. So everybody kind of just needs to keep plodding along here. But I do give props to WWE and the wrestlers for going out there, doing what they do, and trying to make content, make entertainment for people at home that need it. But yeah, overall, guys, like I says, 2.5 stars for Money in the Bank 2020. And just a quick update on kind of the channel here. Now, I know I've not been on since, I think it was WrestleMania was the last one that I was on it. But it's just, I've been really busy recently with personal kind of matters and stuff like that. But going forward, I'm going to try and get 2 or 3 shows a week updated with the kind of update of what's happening in wrestling, thoughts on matches, on the weekly kind of shows and stuff like that. So, and I'm probably going to do a little watch party on Twitch, where I'm put in the kind of time when I'm watching through old WCW and ECW pay-per-views, and we can kind of chat about it. But if any of you guys would like to be on this, we're going to try and get a little podcast started. If any of you guys would like to be on a podcast, and we can go through, we can do a watch party for matches, we can chat about different kind of things in wrestling, and I would love to chat to any of you. If you leave your name if you leave a comment, if you want to be on it, I'll get back to you, or you can DM me on Twitter. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and let me know your thoughts on Money in the Bank 2020. Have a great week.